Okay, just because the height, weight, size of Florida State, in this case against Oregon, much like you did with LSU and Auburn and teams like that. I think the difference is with Oregon is they have a quarterback now that's very different. It's kind of an X factor. It's not just his physical ability, but the experience that he has as a quarterback of knowing what to expect, knowing that every defense you throw at him, he has an answer for. I think that makes him a little bit different. I think defensively, I'm anxious to see how they hold up, to be frank. I think that up front, the defensive line played exceptionally well, probably their best game in Santa Clara against Arizona. They're going to have a similar performance, in my mind, to be able to hold up against the balance of Florida State, because if you look at them at the second level, in the secondary without EFO, there's some matchups that would concern me. So I think the defensive line for Oregon will have to step up and be kind of a difference maker.
Is this the best Oregon team, or is this the Oregon team that has Mariota?
It remains to be seen. There's some great Oregon teams for me personally that I've watched very closely. When you look at the totality of the team, not just the quarterback, when you looked at the running backs and the line and the tight end and receivers, and then the defense. I mean, that defense over the years has had some freaks, and the defensive line, the linebackers, the secondary, and so I personally don't see that same level of player on the defensive side that we've seen in the past from Oregon. That doesn't mean they can't make plays. That doesn't mean that they can't win these games. But I think Oregon gets a little bit of a bad rap nationally, because I think those games that we point to, LSU game, we had a true freshman, DeAnthony Thomas, dropped the ball a couple times early in that game, one on a kickoff return. He was a true freshman playing his first game. You go back and really watch that game, they competed in that football game. You go back and look at the Auburn game. They competed. It came down to a last-second field goal. The Ohio State game was a four-quarter game. The tight end went up in the air and made a great catch. But it's almost as if people just acted as if Oregon was blown out against those teams. It really wasn't the case. So to me, it's another opportunity to, on a big stage against a national power, to kind of show where Oregon football is. But to say this is the best Oregon team, I don't know if I would say that.
Kirk, each of these teams has a great freshman running back, true freshman. Has that jumped out at you nationally? I mean, I think there were 7,000-yard true freshman running backs this year.
I've been saying this month, these are the best true freshmen that I've seen at running back position, that I've seen playing one another in a game of this magnitude ever. I mean, Dalvin Cook is a 200-pound back that runs through arm tackles. He really sets the tone for what Jameis in the passing game does. And the same thing for Royce Freeman. When LeGarrette Blount was at Oregon and they went to LaMichael James and Kenyon Barner, I became more of a fan of the LaMichael James style of back. I think he fits better, the lateral quickness, the jump cut, as opposed to a power guy running downhill. I think Royce Freeman has a little bit of both. He's very unique, and he has the quickness to be able to jump cut, but he also runs downhill in a hurry like a LeGarrette Blount. So I think those two guys are definitely, to me, as much as we want to talk quarterbacks, I think the two running backs are the key to the game.